Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to be looking at advice from new kickboxing 1 FC champion, Chingiz Allazov. I hope I pronounced that right. What we're probably doing on Sunday morning is sitting around, maybe relaxing, thinking about how hard we're going to train in the upcoming week. And sometimes a little word from a champion, a little extra motivation is just going to give us that boost through the week to really push ourselves hard. And Allazov has some amazing advice for the younger fighters out there or for people who just want to push themselves harder. So we're going to look at that today, and I'm going to explain to you exactly what it means and how it has affected me in my career for the better. So sometimes in life we hear things from people we look up to that are very simple but have a very profound effect on our lives. For instance, myself. I'm not looking at fighters like Allazov now going, oh, what advice can he give? And it's going to dramatically affect me because I'm going to take it to heart because I already have established who I am, how I train. But if we look back in time and we go, ooh, who did Gabriel look up to a long time ago, and what might those champions have said to him to really motivate him to push himself? Well, we have Buakaw, who after one of his K1 Max fights said, essentially, or basically, he believes whoever trains the hardest wins. And I really took that to heart and I really pushed myself. Now, Allazov has advice to young fighters, and what he says is, if your coach tells you to do 100 kicks, you do 110 or 120. That would be my advice to young fighters. That is the quote. So simple, something that you might have gone, oh, I knew that. Of course I knew that. But the question is, were you doing it? Now, I want to break off and talk a little bit about myself because, as many of you know, I have been self-trained. Not in the sense that I don't have anybody helping me, I obviously do, but I don't have a head coach. Because I don't have a head coach throughout my whole career, it's up to me when I go to the gym to decide exactly what I'm going to do in every session, to plan out my entire week. That all falls to me. So I did that for a very long time on my own. Then I went to a couple gyms and did part of my training camp at those gyms. And what would actually happen is the coach would tell me to do this much. And I would finish and I'd go, ooh, I'm really used to doing this much. But because the coach told me to do that much, I went, oh, that must be enough. And then after a while, I actually learned that, I might be better on my own because I push myself further, and I don't want it to seem like I'm questioning the coach by doing more than he tells me. So when you see somebody like Allazov saying you have to push yourself harder than your coach says, and you hear somebody like Buakaw state, I believe whoever trains the hardest will win, these simple quotes, these simple thoughts can make a world of difference in how we approach training, and that can lead us down the road to becoming a world champion one day. Now, yes, this is very simple information, but there are a couple things to keep in mind as well. I learned throughout my career that pushing yourself to that extreme where you're like, oh, whoever wins, or sorry, trains the hardest will win. Well, there are downsides to that because I pushed myself to that point where my body was just a full-on injury. Everything hurt. I was missing sessions because I was so injured from overtraining. So you do need to keep in mind that yes, you can push yourself hard, but recognize when it's too hard. And you'll learn that by basically just testing out your body. I don't know any other way to do it, really. You just test out and see what you're capable of. And yes, if your coach tells you to do 100 round kicks, but like Allazov is saying, you do 110 or 120, you can push yourself that much further, but make sure it's not to the point where you start breaking down and your body gives out. The overall idea behind what Allazov is saying is not necessarily just train all the time, but if somebody tells you for this, and you go for that, you are the person putting in the extra mile. Most likely that means you will develop the mindset that when I go home, I'm gonna watch fights because it's like extra studying and you are just investing your heart and soul into this. And I do believe that for, I don't know what percentage, but the majority of fighters, most of them are gonna have much better chance if they follow what I was just saying. They really dive in, they let it consume them, it becomes their life. Those are the people who are going to succeed. Like Allazov says, the people who do the extra. They throw the extra round kicks even though their coach told them not to, because they just want to push themselves harder and they want to be a champion. So we have Buakaw, we have Allazov, we have myself, all telling you guys, do the little extra. Go the extra mile. Push yourself within reason to do more than your coach is telling you, and that will lead you down the road to victories. I think so, and so do these other pro fighters who are also world champions. Anyway, simple advice, but it means so much. Changed my career, made me push harder just hearing that from Buakaw. So hopefully somebody out there takes this to heart and just it really changes things up for them and helps them become a world champion in the future. If you enjoyed the episode, give it a like. Train hard, guys. I will see you back here soon for another video.